I'll show you how to do the alignment on this. So there's two switches in here, and the alignment's actually done on the bottom, but I'll kind of explain how this works. This switch here is the safety switch. So, and the way you can kind of differentiate is the safety switch will trip either direction as it walks up this ramp. The walk stop switch will only trip with this cam going one direction, so it's not in the bottom of that half moon deal. So I've got this machine locked in at 40% in reverse, getting away from your fence. This tower is a little bit too close to the fence. So what I want to do, since I'm going in reverse away from the fence, I want to find out which direction runs this tower. So I'm gonna let it cycle through for 1 second. Okay, so I'm gonna pull it and I'm gonna push it. So if I push it, I can click that switch and make that contactor pull in and walk. So that tells me that I need to bring this part of the alignment system, which is attached to the bottom of the box, in. And there's two jam nuts. There's one here and one here, and then there's two locking bolts, right? I only need to loosen the closest locking bolt to the jam nuts so that will pivot easier. So I just take that loose, which is just the one locking bolt. So it'll pivot on this one that's tight still. And since I need to take this plate closer in order to make it walk away from the fence, I'm going to loosen this jam nut, and then I'm going to bring this one in. And as I bring that in, it's going to force that tower to walk. And I'll let it walk for a second. And I go in small increments just so I don't get it way out of line too. I'm going to go ahead and bring that jam nut back in. We want to squeeze that plate between those two nuts and then tighten our locking bolt back. Okay, I'm going to check the alignment from here and see how it looks. There's another way to align this deal. So it's kind of hard to tell in the video, but this first tower is still too close to the fence. You can kind of look straight down from the pipe to the tower is straight, but then past that first tower, that machine is going off to the north. So it's a little bit too far to the reverse side. So I'm going to show you how to kind of do this whenever it gets a little too far to line like that. So I want to see which direction I need to, I guess, kind of, we call it wag the tail. So what I'm going to do is take this first tower and shut it off, and then I'm going to walk the rest of the machine until it's perfectly straight with that first tower, you know, kind of wagging that tail back into line, right? And as soon as I get that set, then we can set the alignment dead center for where it's at. So at this point, I know I need to go back towards the fence, so I need to go forward. So I'm going to shut the first tower off, and I'll show you how to do that. And this is how we shut this tower off. Essentially, we're going to turn this tower into the pivot point. This will be our anchor for the rest of the machine. Now the machine's off. I turn the disconnect off. No power going to the system right now. On top of this contactor here, we're going to pull this yellow red wire, and I just clip it right there so it doesn't touch anything by accident. And if, depending on how far out of line it is, if it gets real wacky, we'll have to either put a jumper here or push and hold the override button. It's no more out of line than this one is. It's just slightly out of line. We shouldn't have to do that. And I'll show you here how to walk that machine straight in line. Okay, so now since I've got that tower shut off, I always want to kind of go back here and look at a reference point. So between the pivot and the first tower is straight, obviously, because it's just one section of pipe. I'm going to watch as the rest of that machine, I've got it running in forward at about 90%. That machine will start to walk in forward. Obviously, that first tower won't move at all. But kind of what I'm looking for, and again, it's hard to see on the camera here, but you'll see that second tower get in line, and as soon as it gets in line, we may end up having to shut it off and kind of wag the rest of the machine. We may have more than one tower to do here on this one. It's looking like that second tower is just about in line. I'll let it cycle one more time, and I think we'll lock that second tower down and then shut it off and then move the rest of the machine in line. There it goes. Yep, so I'm gonna lock it down real quick. It's tower number 2. We got it directly in line with tower number 1. Looks like we're gonna have a couple of towers maybe getting a little out of line. So different style contactor, same thing. Machine's off, power's off. Pull the yellow red wire out and get it clipped up on one of these other wires so it's not touching anything. We'll go back, do it again. First 2 towers are shut off, but they're straight in line with each other. So we'll bring the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th towers in line right up against this fence to try and make this machine look straight as an arrow. All right, same thing again. I've got number 1, number 2 shut off. We're getting real close to being straight. Looks like that end tower just needs to come in just a little bit more. Looks like the 3rd tower is straight right there. So I may actually just go ahead and, actually, I don't know, let's see. Let's see how it acts here in the next cycle. You may be able to just lock those first two towers down. I would think we're about as straight as we're gonna get this machine at the moment. You see all the center drives lined up except maybe the last 1 or 2. So we may do some work down there, but 1, 2, 3, and 4 center drives are lined up with each other. We'll stop the machine right there. Okay, so now that I've got, it really straightened up nice after I stopped that last video, but right here, 1st, 2nd tower locked down, and then we got 3, 4, 5, and you can almost see number 6 all the way out there at the end, but I really like it when there's a nice tunnel between all the drops. You can kind of see right down the center of all the hoses, but that's about as straight as we can get now. And so I need to manipulate the alignment on towers 1 and 2 to lock those down, so because those are the ones that were kind of out of line a little bit. Our machine's off, so we can put this back on there. We should be, by the time we get done doing what we're doing on our adjustments, we should be good to make it hot and walk these first 2 towers. So again, I unhooked that one so that it wouldn't move. So now my alignment switch is a little bit out of tolerance. So you want that switch, if I push in, I'm pushing in on the bottom here. If I push in, it clicks, and when I pull out, it clicks. So right now it's not doing that. And I know that this cam it follows the direction of this, right? So if I push in on this cam rotates with it towards the pipe or away from the pipe. And that's connected to your alignment rod, which is connected down on the pipe a little ways. So that lever essentially spins this cam, which then pushes this cam into this switch. So right now I got a little bit too much space. I can push that switch. You see it moving real slightly, but it takes oh, I don't know, maybe 2 millimeters before it clicks. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna adjust this because I want it to be less than 1 millimeter. It clicks. You need to barely touch that alignment rod and it's going to click in either direction, which essentially gets it dead straight in between forward and reverse. So in reverse it's a normally open circuit, and forward it's a normally closed circuit. So what happens is when that tower moves, it either opens or closes the switch, and it's forward and reverse is controlled by one switch. That's, we got a brown wire and an orange wire. Those are our forward reverse wires. So essentially we want this thing to have really, really tight tolerances, and I think that's kind of our issues. We may have gotten a little bit loose either in some of the mechanical stuff under here, or even potentially these 2 switches could be a little loose. They may be losing their sensitivity, and we can adjust that right here if we need to. So I'm going to adjust the alignment first, and same way as we did earlier, but I need this cam to move towards the pipe or towards the switch. So I'm going to take my locking bolt loose here, just so that alignment rod and cam will pivot in there. And then I need to take this jam nut loose, kind of get it out of the way, because I need that rod to move, or that alignment cam on the tower to move towards the pipe. And what I'm going to be looking for, it'll be real hard to see, but I'm going to go ahead and start rolling this cam in there. What I'm going to listen for is for the click of that micro switch. I'm going to go real slow. Okay, I got bottomed out, but let's see when I push on that cam. Pushing in here again, pushing towards the pipe. Okay, I clicked it and it stayed. And so what I mean by it stayed is that switch is now depressed. it is not clicking again. I can't click it. So when I go to click this one, this is our safety switch. We want it to click always, because if it's clicked in, that means the tower won't walk. Essentially, that this keeps it, it will break safety if it gets out of line. But this one is not clicking. So now I'm gonna pull, and it clicked. It's hard, I don't know if you can hear that on camera or not, but now it's like dead set in the middle now. So essentially, if I push it, okay, it's clicked that way. If I pull it, I think it just clicked. Yeah, it did. So pull it, it's clicking. Push it, it's clicking. Relatively equal pressure. I'm not sure if you can hear that on the camera. We'll put the camera right on that switch so that you can kind of hear what it sounds like. So all I'm doing there is I'm pulling the alignment, pushing the alignment. And it's relatively equal pressure. I think I got a little more pressure needed to push it, so I'm going to run it back towards the pipe just a little bit, and then maybe a quarter turn on that nut, and even that was enough to change the pressure dramatically. It's almost perfectly even. And so basically what that's doing is centering this switch up exactly with the rest of the towers, right? So we'll go do the next one, and we'll try to see if that this machine will stay straight.